Welcome to Happy Wife, Happy Life.
We're your hosts. I'm Kendahl Landreth.
And I'm Jordan Myrick.
And we are two incredibly unqualified,
but deeply in love comedians who are here to help you with all things relationship. And on today's episode, we are talking dating hot takes with Bridger Winegar.
Oh, should I say something?
Yeah, that was perfect. That's perfect. Bridger, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You host everyone's favorite podcast.
Oh my God.
And it's an honor to have you on ours.
I'm so thrilled. I adore both of you. Recent friendly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say friends because I don't want to assume anything with you two.
I would love to be friends.
I was going to say best friends, so that's super awkward.
I would love to be friends. Yeah, we did your podcast and we had a blast.
Oh my God, you brought those delicious lemons.
What'd you think?
They were so good. Meyer lemons, right?
Mm-hmm,
which are
my
essentially
parents'
candy.
tree.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. This is starting out on a much better note than episodes normally do.
Usually start with a fight.
Usually it's really awkward by this point.
We unpack emotional trauma right up top, and then we get into the lighter stuff at the end. You are in a relationship.
I'm in a relationship, a 10-year relationship
Wow.
as of February.
Are you married?
Not married. Refused to get married.
Are you
Got
going
it.
to get on the ultimatum, the TV show?
Oh,
Have you ever
what?
thought about
I don't
it?
know what the ultimatum is.
You don't know what it is?
I've never heard of this.
Ultimatum queer love? Ultimatum queer love? Okay.
I have never heard of this.
Wait, are you being serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
This feels great.
How
I feel
far
like
outside
you're
of pop
lying.
culture am I?
Okay,
I'm so far outside. This feels like not knowing what American Idol is.
We shouldn't
Whoa.
shame. Hey, we shouldn't shame. We should invite in. We should call in
No,
instead of
I
calling
only
out.
learn from shaming.
Okay. All right,
and I
stand
know
up,
that
I'll
about
spank
you.
You embarrass me.
So this is what it is. It's a show called The Ultimatum, and it started out as straight couples.
Okay.
Where they would
First mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. They would
Mistake.
bring
That's so
in
funny.
couples
Okay.
where one of them wanted to get married right now, one of them didn't want to get married right now, whatever.
Or whatever, yeah.
Then they would, so it's like 12 groups of couples or whatever.
Right.
Then they would date other people from the other couples.
Oh.
And then they have 1 week where they live with
3
a
weeks.
chosen
3 weeks.
Okay, 3 weeks where they live with a chosen person from
With their
one of the other
trial
couples.
marriage.
Oh, of
Their-
the other people.
Yeah.
in their trial marriage.
Okay.
So I would, let's say like if we were all on, like Kendahl and I would be like, you break up. So then they always are like, I'd be like my ex.
What?
And then you and I might get together.
Yes.
Right, of
And then
course.
you would be her trial husband.
And then I would see
Whoa.
if it brought up anything for me. If I was like, wait, actually, I didn't want to marry you, but I do
I'm
want to marry
charmed by
you.
this guy.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then the
Right.
options are you can be with your new person, you can be with your old person, or you can leave alone. So those are the three options.
No, but it's not even just leave with you have to get engaged. If you leave with the person that you came there with, you have to get engaged.
So they would bring on people who should not be married to anyone.
Absolutely.
100%. And people who think I was saying this on our Patreon episode because we were doing an ultimatum recap.
Right.
And I was like, usually it's kind of painted as the person who doesn't want to get married is kind of like, oh, they're afraid of commitment and they're kind of the bad one. But I'm like, have to remember the person who's asking them to get married, when they were told no, brought them on a reality
They're a
TV
dangerous
show.
person.
They're a
Absolutely.
dangerous
Yeah.
person
To
who's
society.
very scary.
Yeah, absolutely. But they've done 2 seasons so far. The second season just came out.
So this did not air in 2006. It sounds like that sort of reality
You know, I honestly couldn't tell you when
Oh.
it started.
It did
in
not
terms
air
of,
in 2000.
No, 2006 is too long
It aired
ago.
after the pandemic.
show. Okay.
No, but I don't know when the straight one started. You don't either.
No, I don't believe in that one. I
That's
only
what I'm
do.
saying.
I don't
no.
acknowledge
The
that one.
queer one, they've had 2 seasons of
Right.
it. The second season just came out.
What is this on?
Netflix.
RTV 24/7, Henny.
It's on Netflix. And of course, the queer one is like more entertaining and
Right.
also more upsetting because these people it's all lesbians and they immediately make a bond with their new trial wife.
course.
They
And
immediately
they're
like,
in love.
will be my wife. They've met twice.
Yeah.
Their partner, some of these people have been together with their partner for 10 years. They're like, you're done.
Wow.
I'm in love with someone else.
Yes, you have to watch it. I think you would like
But
it.
you could go on
Ultimatum.
it, I'm saying.
Well, why not? I'll pitch it to him tonight.
Yeah, see if he likes it.
Even though I'm the one that says I don't want to get married.
Why?
I think it starts with Mormon culture because I was raised Mormon.
Yeah.
And like it was a very marriage-dominated culture. So I feel a little allergic to that. And then there's just like, I just don't see any reason to get married. I mean, the only thing that we've ever considered is like health insurance.
Yeah.
Like if we get into a thing where one of us needs health insurance, but that's not the most romantic reason to do anything.
Right.
But when we started dating, like I just made it very clear up front, it's like there's no chance I'll ever
chance.
get married. And he was like, I would like to get married at some point, but now maybe he's preparing to leave me because he's okay with not getting married anymore.
He's going to give you the ultimatum.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So what about tax stuff? That's what people normally ask you about.
I know, and I guess I just haven't seen any good hard numbers to convince me.
Okay.
People are always like, yeah, you get tax, but I'm like, how much?
Well, I can read you like a book, and I can tell you we're similar in that I'm like, you could tell me anything about my taxes. You could say, oh, you can write. I know nothing, so I'm just fully making it up. So when people say, oh, it can help you with your taxes, I'm like, okay.
How? Please tell me.
Give me a number. If you found like,
give me your
much...
gross income. What's your gross income?
I want to know if like what would the number amount have to be for you to find out that you got such a good deal on your taxes that you would get married? Like, how much money would you have to be getting back from the government?
It would have to be like an 80% tax break.
Okay.
Is that?
And we don't know.
And it might be.
And again, I don't even know if that means anything. Like, you could give me an 80% tax break, and I'd be like, I'm still getting ripped off. I don't know how it works.
Absolutely.
So I guess it'll never matter to me.
Okay, and then the other question that people always ask with that is, like, medical stuff. Like your partner's in the hospital.
We're really cosplaying as your parents here.
I just want to know.
Here's the reasons you need to get married.
No,
for us.
I don't think anyone.
Not for yourself, for us.
I don't think anyone.
Fine, we'll do it.
I'm just so curious because those are the three things that people ask you about, right?
See, and yeah, of course. And the medical thing, I always go to a place of like, if it gets so, I'll be either one of us will be so desperate that we'll find our way into the hospital.
Okay.
No one's gonna stop
You'll
us.
break in.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
Well, one of us will be so incapacitated that it won't matter. I'll be like, well, I'm dying, so he can deal with it. And he'll be so desperate and angry with the hospital staff that he'll make his way in. Who's going to stop us?
So you'll do crime to...
Yeah, love will win.
Right.
And that's what they meant with that campaign,
yes.
I think that's wonderful. You did mention you grew up Mormon. Mm-hmm. You're no longer Mormon.
No longer Mormon. Not
Kendahl,
really an option.
On the way here, even though we've talked about this before, I was like, oh, we'll post some questions about Mormonism. And Kendahl was like, wait, is he Mormon? And I was like, well, he's gay and lives in Los Angeles, so I don't think so.
I come in like a missionary suit.
Yeah, we haven't seen your underwear, so we don't know what you're doing down there.
They're always trying to get... I could totally see them being like, you're going to be the face of us right now to get the younger crowd in.
They did that with the lead singer of The Killers. Do you remember this?
He's Mormon?
Yeah, he was like... They had like a commercial with him. He's like, I'm Brandon Flowers, I'm Mormon. I don't know if he's still... I'm
Googling it.
And I feel like famous Mormons get a little bit of a break. Like they're a little easier on them.
Who's a famous Mormon?
Let's see. Well, great question. Him.
Well, you used to be.
I used to be.
Yeah, Donny Osmond.
Well, but they do. I know with the and excuse me if I'm repeating myself because I love talking about this, but I know with the vloggers, with the Mormon vloggers, there's a lot of rules that do not count for them. Like they're allowed to film in temple if they're famous.
The vloggers
enough.
get to?
If they're famous enough.
Whoa.
Not all of them, but if you're at a certain echelon, they say, come on in.
Like the whole ritual and everything?
I don't know enough about what even a ritual is.
They're allowed to film the ritual.
You don't even... What's the ritual?
You tell me what the ritual is.
So you can't because no one filmed it. Well, actually, people have secretly filmed it.
Or what is it?
Baptism, a whole ritual.
They film that.
They filmed that?
Ruby... Kendahl! I watched the vlogs! You didn't even know what the thing was.
You didn't know what the thing was.
I said the baptism.
No.
I go to play it back.
She guessed. Right? She guessed. Richie, she was just guessing.
There's the baptism, but there's also the marriage. There's also the initiation.
I don't know anything about the marriage.
You Google this. Like ex-Mormons who were like didn't want to be part of it have gone in with like spy cameras and filmed.
Sure. Sure.
Probably in like a rose pinned to their chest or something. I don't know how they got it in.
The Google glasses.
Yeah. I also do have to interrupt and say that from what I'm seeing on LatterdaySaintMusicians.com,
my favorite website,
my home screen, Brandon Flowers is apparently he seems to still be a Mormon, and he said he struggled with his effects of his rock star culture, and he became more and more committed to his faith throughout the years. So I don't know how up to date this article is, but
I'd love to check in with him.
You have to call him.
He's next week's guest, so that's fine.
Yeah, we'll ask him, then we'll bring you back. So you were Mormon. What is the most absolutely unhinged Mormon dating custom?
I mean, there are so many. I mean, the first thing is, like, you can't really date till you're 16. And then you're not supposed to date the same person more than once. You're not supposed to go to a high school dance with more than one person. So you're kind of just thrown into like this thing of like not understanding how relationships form very early on. So you're not allowed to date until you're 16. You can't date the same person, although that gets broken pretty often. You're not supposed to really kiss until things start to. I mean, you obviously have to remain a virgin until you get married. That's not that unhinged or crazy. I'm trying to think of other things.
But does it differ kind of how Christianity, like, okay, we have some Christians that are super intense about these certain things, and then some Christian parents are like, you do whatever you want. You can have sex, who cares?
No, the sex thing is pretty much nobody goes with this. And kissing is like at second level. I knew like Mormons who didn't kiss until they got married.
Yeah.
Which is a little like, what? I mean, truly, you are going to be in for such a shock. This whole experience is going to be real wild for you.
We were saying recently, that's like a reality show. Like that, I would watch that as a reality show. If you were just like, people get married and they haven't even kissed, and then they move in together that night. Like that's
it could be called Let's Get Physical.
Now
There we go.
good.
We're producing a show.
Okay.
It would kind of have to be pornographic, because the only point of the show is they haven't had sex or kissed.
Yeah.
You would have to commit to a big thing. Did you ever see the reality show My Husband's Not Gay?
No. And we'd love to know about
This
it.
has been scrubbed from the internet, and I'm furious.
Tell us more.
I think it was on TLC. I think it was all Mormon couples, and it was married couples. The husband was gay. Absolutely.
But did he know that? Because a lot of them are like, I am gay, but I just pushed
Yes, they said like they identified as like
sad.
yeah. It is honestly like S something something. But they said that they weren't gay, but they were married, so they were just making it work.
Yeah.
And this was a whole reality show in like 2010. So this is why when you said the ultimatum, it feels like in that same category of like
Sure, very
bad
similar.
relationships. But it's like literally nowhere online. I even looked to torrent it. TLC's
Wait,
done
what
a
is
bit-
that?
Do you know what torrenting
No.
is?
Oh my
Piracy.
God, you're too young. That's disgusting. Wait, we have
I've
to get
pirated
divorced.
things before.
How have you pirated them?
I did for music. I can't remember what it was called, but I would
Did you
pirate.
use like a soul seek?
I don't know. It was some website my sister got me, and all the porn. It was the first time I saw porn. It'd pop up.
It might have been a torrent, like Pirate Bay. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like
so.
Torrenting
Stop lying.
is you download a file, a small file,
Yeah.
then you open the file, and then suddenly everyone that has this file is letting you take from their computers, and then it somehow molds it into one big file.
I see.
But nobody's got My Husband's Not Gay.
That's so sad. I do have to tell you guys about one of my worst anxiety spirals I've ever had.
Let's hear it.
As someone who's mentally ill medically, I torrented some music
Okay.
maybe 2 years earlier than this instance. And then my mom and I went to see Sister Act on Broadway starring Raven Simone.
Oh boy.
And that's how she pronounces her name now, right?
Sorry.
I'm learning
That was new for
in
me.
real time here.
She doesn't pronounce it Raven Simone anymore. Raven Simone, I believe is how it's pronounced. I'm sorry, Raven, excuse me. I know you're a huge listener.
Keeping it fresh.
She was
Rebrand.
playing Whoopi Goldberg's part in Sister Act on Broadway.
Okay.
And my mom and I were down near the front. We got like rush tickets, day of. We were like front row, unbelievable. For the final number, like what looked like FBI agents in suits
It's a sting operation.
came and stood down near the kind of underneath the stage. And of course now looking back, I'm like, they were just making sure no one tried to jump up on stage and hug Raven is
Right.
what it was. But in my mind, I could not get over the idea that they were there to arrest me for having pirated a Taking Back Sunday CD like 3 years earlier. I
old
was
were you?
convinced. I was maybe a senior in college.
That's
I was old.
That you got to that
No,
place.
no.
That's very like
I was old.
monster under the bed sort of situation.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, sometimes there's a monster in your brain and stuff like this happens. But I was
Oh,
like, and I
George.
knew it was irrational, but I just remember sitting there and being like, okay, no, it's not true, but I can like see them looking around and like the final numbers happening. And I was like, and I'm sure it's fine. But like, what if like the number ends and then they like put a gun on me, like sniper style, red dot on my forehead?
What a way to go down.
Oh, can you imagine?
I would
Can you
love nothing
imagine?
more.
If I had a kid, I would explain law to them, which I'd hire someone to. I have no idea. But something I felt like I struggled with growing up was that I didn't know the level of consequences for things.
Yes.
So I assumed everything was life in prison. Every single thing is life in prison. And I remember similarly an anxiety I took with me until I was 18. I was in maybe 6th grade, and I was on FaceTime or Skype or whatever with my friend, and I showed my boobs, and she clearly had a talk with her mother about, her mother had said, you can never do that. She goes, Kendahl, that's really bad. You should not show your boobs on the internet. Now that's on
No one has ever done
video."
that before.
She said, "You can't put your boobs on camera. Now that's on the internet."
Oh, no.
And I said, "But we're on Skype." She said, "It doesn't matter. If it goes on the internet, it can't be taken off." And I was like, in my head, I remember going, I now have child pornography on my computer because it's of me and I'm
a pornographer.
I'm a child pornography owner, and I carry this anxiety like anytime. For years, I was like, I need to just be as small as possible because if I get too popular, someone's going to find that footage.
My boobs are bouncing around the internet.
And then I turned 18 and I was immediately like, pussy on Snapchat every other day. I didn't care. But for years, I was like, oh, God, that's going to bite me in the titties.
Yeah. I've been trying to find the term for a gay man who's married to a straight woman in Mormon culture. I cannot find it, but I will say something did come up on mixed orientation relationships.
Oh, yes. I've heard this.
Have you seen the woman on TikTok?
No, there's a woman and a man on
No.
TikTok, and we're not going to say too much about them because we don't know them, and maybe they'll come on the podcast. We have a lot of questions.
Yeah, sure.
But it's the couple says that he is a gay man and she is a straight woman, but they are married and they are in love and they do have sex and he is sexually attracted
they're not
to her.
religious.
And they're not
Oh,
religious.
These are like New York City
like
Broadway
gals, you know?
Whoa.
And then people are like, well, isn't he bisexual? And they're like, no, because he's only attracted to gay men and me, a straight woman. It's above my pay grade, ultimately. You know, I don't kind of have enough in the holster to unpack all of that.
That should be called drop in a bucket orientation because it's just one woman
Right.
and all men.
Sure.
And
So
I
it's
think
like-
we just have to, because, I mean, if you looked at him, people go, well, isn't he bi? And I say, you guys,
Look at
wake
him.
up, look at him. That's the gayest man I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
life. I know you
Right,
could,
right.
bisexuality can look many different ways, except that
Except
way.
it doesn't
For a
look like
few
that.
ways, right.
Sometimes it
Even
just
married
looks gay.
to this woman, he's holding his wife and talking about having sex with her, and I'm like, that's the gayest man I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it seems like apparently that's a big thing in the Mormon community. I think it's very interesting to see this liberal couple that's going viral right now for this thing. And it's a thing that seems to be relatively popular in the Mormon community.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's kind of until I was out of it. Like, that's what you're trained to do. It's like, well, they were like, basically, like, you can have those feelings, but not act on them. And so
Yeah.
you can just be kind of imprisoned for life was kind of the thing that they were encouraging you to do.
Were they like, you're gay, but don't worry
No.
about it? Or were they just like, thoughts happen? Like, did they label the thing?
No, not really, because I really didn't have any word to describe it for a very, very long time. Like, I was aware of that gay people existed, but I was like, but obviously it can't work for, that can't be me. That's not a real thing. So they wouldn't give you the vocabulary, but like they'd be like, you can have these thoughts, you just can't, I guess God's giving you an extra hard test.
God's a real son of a bitch, isn't he?
Right. And then I think until you acted on it, then it became a real thing, and then you were put into the therapy or what have you.
Programs.
Got it.
That's the
Okay.
program.
The programs, as I've been told to call it. To be PC about them. Like the wilderness ones?
I think there were wilderness ones. I think there were some that looked more just like therapy.
Yeah.
I remember there was a guy in my neighborhood that was like a year older than me that ended up going through it. And I think his was kind of therapy looking.
Okay.
Except for with the guy who's in charge of it was not a therapist. He was like I don't know what he did. He made,
A life coach.
life coach. I think truly like kind
But
of.
they're
life
getting
coach
in
videos.
trouble, you know.
God.
The Mormon church is getting in some real heat.
I get so much
now.
Mormon news from YouTube.
Exactly right.
Oh, we're always
Exactly.
bringing
I
stuff
love
to
it.
you.
Well, Jordan this morning was like, well, we could talk about Mormons. Then you said something like, well, but we need to research more. And I said, I don't need to research more. I've done enough, actually. I have my PhD in Mormon vloggers.
What's the latest?
Well, this isn't late. This is old news, really, but new to you two. New to you two idiots.
Losers.
But there was, Ruby Frankie.
Oh, of course.
And so that therapist that kind of was look, there were red flags for years, but the therapist, quote unquote, that kind of was the snowball into her going to prison,
Right.
was recommended by the Mormon church, had her license revoked
Right.
previous to being recommended.
Wow.
She probably shouldn't be recommending a therapist that is, doesn't have a license. And was kind of their go-to gal.
Oh.
And she is absolutely the most insane
She
woman.
is a demonic person.
She's like truly is demonic. The things I've seen of her. I mean, she acts like she's possessed. I mean, she's and now she's in prison. But so they were kind of like, she's not. But something that she would do a lot is say, which I feel like this is common, where you'll hear a lot of religious men be like, I have a porn addiction, I have a sex addiction, I have a whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, some of you might. I'm sure there's a connection to having that and repressing yourself for many years. But also, like with her, she was labeling everyone as having like a porn addiction, a sex addiction, and it would like rip these marriages apart.
Right.
That's just an interesting...
Yeah, I think a lot of Mormon men, especially if they look at porn more than once, it is now an addiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like...
Uh-oh. Lock me up.
I've thought before, you go, when does it become a porn addiction? Because I've had days where I, didn't take my Vyvanse, and I say,
You forgot
when
to
does this
eat."
become something?
And
that
she
is-
left me. No, do you know what an addiction is? You
I
know,
think maybe once it starts affecting your life.
yeah.
Right, when in a bad
way.
real porn addiction. My porn addiction led to some really good things.
Yeah, lots of clarity on different aspects of my life and made me start going to the gym. Yeah. This is a hot take question from a fan,
Okay.
but I know you have a lot of strong opinions, and so I want to hear your thoughts on this. There's a lot of discussion online about negative impacts of Mormon dating culture, but I'm curious if there are any lessons, skills, philosophies you developed while being raised Mormon that actually helped you when you were dating outside of Mormon culture.
That's a really solid question. And I think that like within Mormonism in general, I've taken away some good things from it, because it's like you're raised to be honest or to be hardworking or to just be a nice person to other people and not expect anything from it. So like, I feel like if they could just dial it all the way back to that, they'd be taking over the world.
Yeah, boil it down.
But within dating, like respecting the other person, I think being so dialed back as far as sexuality goes that I think you don't really get into any like scary situations as far as consent. I remember like when I was, my life, but when I was in LA, not out, dating a woman, I remember her being like, "Oh, you're so nice." Like it feels so old fashioned that like you're nice as someone to date. Like you think about doing things, and Mormons are very like dating culture, so it's like
They're courting.
yeah, they're courting. So it's like, oh yeah, we'll go out to dinner. We'll like, I'll hold the door for you. I'll like treat you like someone I want to bring into my life rather than just
That's a really good way to think about it. I'm treating you like someone I want to bring into my life.
that I want to trap.
Yes.
Ultimately.
Well, because
Exactly.
quick, that's what's wild. It's like you say they can't date till they're 16, and then it's like you don't really date. It's like, okay, 16, and now you're finding your husband.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you might meet the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with at 16. You won't get married for another full. Well, I guess it's been dialed back because now they go on missions
I was
younger.
gonna say, no, oh really?
But like getting married at 20.
Yeah. And I think all that is bad, but I do think that concept is like dating like you're treating someone like you want to bring them into your life, I think is like
Right.
really nice and not a way a lot of people think about it. And I will never forget when I was still dating men, kind of to, you gave
Sure,
me, you showed me
sure.
yours,
Let's
I'll
hear
show you
yours.
mine. Yeah. I asked a guy who I met doing comedy. I had met more than once. We had talked a decent amount at shows and stuff, clearly got along. I was like, he asked me out. I was like, yeah, do you want to grab dinner? And he was flabbergasted by me asking him to get dinner. He was like, dinner? Dinner? I thought we'd get a drink. Dinner? I was like, we've like met a bunch of times. Like we could easily have dinner. We could have dinner in a friendship capacity.
Oh,
like
totally.
what, dinner? But you'd be shocked by how many people think that's kooky.
Just bare bones dating.
Yes.
I mean, like, and that's funny because, and I also don't drink. I've just like continued the cycle of Mormonism. I just don't have any interest in drinking. But like when I did start dating men, we would go out to dinner first. Like I met my boyfriend at a ramen place. I think I suggested it. And I think he was probably like, wait, he wants to go to dinner at like. Also, if he didn't eat ramen that's a whole other situation. But yeah, I think that was a shock to him, where he's like, "Oh, we're going on like a date, so old-fashioned."
That's so cute. Okay, I like that. I think that's a good answer.
Okay, we'll be Mormon.
And now we
Okay,
are pro
fine.
Mormon.
Okay,
Yeah, we're
now
pro
my job is done.
Mormon
I am part of the
culture.
church.
Yes.
Highly paid.
And what would the number have to be to get you back in the church?
$50. I'm a cheap
Okay.
date.
And then the other big question we got about Mormonism, people want to know if soaking's real.
So this has been a question for me for such a long time because
sure.
before it hit the TikTok or whatever, like my friends and I made fun of this concept when in college because it was like, it just to me does not make any like sense. I just can't imagine that beginning and not ending with sex. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, wait, what's going through anyone's mind in this situation? How is this like? Do you say let's do this, or is it like you get to sex and you're like, wait, let's hit the brakes. I'm just gonna look in your eyes.
Or is it like you set it up and it's almost way more pornographic where you have to be like, oopsie, I just fell on top of you.
That's what always feels so bad to me in a lot of like sects of Christianity is it's like, it seems like there's a bunch of things where like we can't do this thing, but we can try to trick God.
Right.
And that always makes me laugh because I'm like, doesn't that seem like the most punishable offense? Like, I'm going to go to hell for just naturally being gay, but you don't think you're going to go to hell for trying to trick God by like doing anal to save your virginity for marriage?
And do you know what soaking used to be called?
What?
The Provo dip. That's what I first. That's how we knew it as like, in college. The most disgusting. I mean, both are like.
I'm glad I never heard that because I would have asked for some if I was at a party. I would have said the Provo dip. Sounds delicious.
You got some celery and chips.
Yeah, absolutely. Stop going to Reddit with all your sex questions. Beducated takes you straight to the source with over 150 courses that help vulva owners enjoy sex more, master new techniques, and have tons of confidence between the sheets. Created by the world's top experts, you're getting everything from self-pleasure to kink all in one place, plus video tutorials, practical exercises, and reliable information. We could not believe how specific Beducated gets. You can really learn how to do anything in the bedroom thanks to Beducated. Whether you feel like you have a lot to learn or you think you've seen it all, with Beducated's huge array of courses, there's something for everybody, no matter your preference or skill level. Click the link in the show notes and sign up to get Beducated. Use code HAPPYWIFE for 50% off a yearly pass. And with a 14-day money-back guarantee, you've got nothing to lose. That's HAPPYWIFE at the link in the show notes for a 50% off yearly pass. You're planning a summer of fun. Don't let a crazy high phone bill crash the party. Make the switch to Mint Mobile and get amazing service for less. With Mint, you get 3 months of unlimited service for just $15 a month. That's literally the price of a couple of coffees. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And soon, you'll be able to call directly into Happy Wife, Happy Life thanks to Mint Mobile. That's right, we're setting up a call line with Mint Mobile so you can get help with your love life as quickly as possible. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/wife. That's mintmobile.com/wife. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for the first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Okay, let's get into some relationship hot takes.
Okay, great.
And on your podcast, which we love so much, you do gift or curse.
Yes, yes.
So we wanted our listeners to send in dating, relationship, love, marriage, hot takes, and you can tell us if it's a good take or a bad take.
Okay,
are they right or are they wrong?
Okay, fantastic.
And you have to tell us why.
Okay.
This person says they will never, ever go somewhere in a car with someone they're dating unless they've been on 3 or more dates.
And I say it's hot or not.
Or good or bad,
Good or
right
bad.
or wrong.
Stupid or
Stupid or not stupid.
I think that's bad because I
agree.
think you should. Your person should start paying for gas money as soon as possible.
Okay.
I think like after 2 dates, you should know enough that this person's not going to drive away with you.
Yeah.
3rd date, fill it up.
Yeah.
Take me on a date.
So yours is a fiscal opinion.
A fiscal opinion. I also want to see how you drive as soon as possible.
I agree with
It
that.
reveals a lot, not just about your driving skills, but about road rage.
And
courtesy.
towards other, courtesy.
Yes, music taste.
Yes.
Everything.
Depth perception.
Depth perception, number
Now,
one.
okay,
So
some of us
important.
can't
So
control that.
important.
I also am like, we have to get out of this 80s feeling that we're all going to be kidnapped. What?
Kendahl is on one absolutely lately. She is so upset by, she's like, everyone's so scared of stranger danger in the year 2025.
I'm done with it.
Everyone
Satanic panic.
No one's trying, but
she kind of, Kendall's like, no one
to kidnap you.
Yeah, and Kendall doesn't
You're
like
not that special.
No kids are allowed to go to sleepovers anymore. No, and there's like a myriad of reasons.
I'm not saying, look, you do what you want with your own kids.
Do what you want with your own kids, but I think Kendall is right in a certain way.
Absolutely.
I think white people in general are very, very scared that crime is going to happen to them unless they outsmart it. And I feel like if you did the stats on it, probably like the most common white on white crime would be like your husband murdering you.
Absolutely.
So you don't need to worry
maybe
about
you should go to the sleepover, honey.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about it that much. But I think we have, people talk about this a lot in the gay community too, of like, people want community, but they don't want to have to be open or considerate or trusting or selfless. And I think there has to be a fine line, because it's like, you want to protect yourself, you want to protect your kids, all these things. But at the same time, like, to create community, you can't just be surrounded by literal or emotional walls.
Well, and
you gotta show some trust.
Exactly. Well, with the parenting stuff, I feel like famously parents nowadays are like, I'm all on my own. There's no village. And I said, well, you made all the village feel like child predators. So we are not allowed to look at your child without feeling like we're going to get arrested. So no, I'm not going to ask if I can come babysit your kid.
After, I think, third date, you can get into the car. I think second date, you can get into the car to make out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not going anywhere.
Okay.
But you can sniff around the car, see what they've got in there.
Sure.
It might smell bad, literally smell bad.
Yeah.
Right.
You find out a lot about somebody
In the car. You really do.
That's true.
I mean, what if they're just driving a stupid car?
What's
Well,
a
that
stupid car?
alone.
What's a stupid car?
Can you imagine second date, you find out they're driving a Cybertruck? I'm killing myself for even going on the first date.
Absolutely.
Would you go on a second date if they were like, I know, it's so embarrassing, but I really liked it and I wanted it and I have it and I know it's bad.
That's worse.
There is no excuse.
That's
there is
worse.
zero excuse. Yeah, I'd be like, so you, wait, what? So you knowing they do bad things all the time?
That feels like premeditated murder versus just like accidental manslaughter. Do you know what I mean? Like accidental manslaughter is just like, oh, whoops, sorry, I didn't look when I was turning, and I had a Cybertruck. Premeditated murder is like, I decided to murder and then I went out and executed.
Yeah.
Oh, like a G-Wagon? If I saw...
Don't say that.
Do you like a
That's
G-Wagon?
my
Isn't that disgusting?
Oh,
we'll never have one.
We've got to get you off of that.
Don't
G-Wagon,
worry.
G-Wagon. It's my dream. We had a guest.
She's new money. She doesn't
Oh,
know.
it's
She doesn't
tough
know.
to hear.
I always say God sent me Jordan the second I got, and I'm not trying to say I'm rich, but I used to have just an obscenely amount of little money. I had no money. And thank God I was with Jordan when I got a true job, or I would be right now full Gucci tracksuit,
Oh, no.
sunglasses on. I would be
$800,000 in
holding-
debt.
I'd have a Cybertruck key in this hand. I would have a G-Wagon key in this hand. It would be a nightmare.
Loan sharks banging down the door to kill her. All right, next hot take.
Okay.
I think flirting outside the relationship is healthy and can be a hot way to connect with your partner.
Well, what? Now that's a whole different thing. So you're flirting in front of your partner?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or is this like you go out to a bar by yourself and you're flirting?
And so it's just you're looking for an out.
You're looking for an escape.
Yeah. I feel like that's bad.
Okay.
Unless the relationship is, well, okay, now, it's fun to flirt, and it's hard not to flirt sometimes.
I find that with lesbians, even like we'll have guests on the podcast. So obviously it's not in a bad way because we're both here together and we're on camera. So we're not trying to do something we're not supposed to do. But we'll have lesbians on, and afterwards our producer will be like, "You guys are so flirty when you're with other lesbians." We're not
the energy's flirty, yeah.
Energy can be flirty, and it is fun. But I think I think there's people I think I do a lot of flirting with people I would never date.
I was about to say,
Right. You know, it's safe that way.
yes, I flirt a lot with men.
Okay.
Sure.
Gay men
News
and
to me.
straight men. Well, because nothing's going to happen.
Right. It's
And I
perfectly
think
safe.
straight men love to flirt with a lesbian. Not again,
Yeah.
not in a perverted way, not like we're on top of each other, but like there'll sometimes be like a night.
That's not flirting.
We're not like having sex flirting like that. No, but sometimes there will just be like a nice guy that I like work with or something.
Right.
And he'll be like, okay, look at this outfit. And I'll be like, look at me, look at you, handsome, whatever. Just like fun, very G-rated, very normal. It feels fun and flirty, but like absolutely nothing will come of it because we are not interested in each other at all. I think in reality, what it is just being nice. But I think being nice, it's so easy for it to become being flirty with someone of your orientation.
Oh, I don't think it's being nice. I think it's like the opposite. Not to sound, I'm not trying to be like.
I don't think flirty is being nice. I think it's being mean.
Well,
deeply cruel.
I think if I'm flirting with someone, I'm doing a lot of negging.
Teasing.
A lot of teasing. Like a lot of gentle teasing.
You didn't do that with me.
Okay.
But I think, well, I do that with you constantly.
Oh, now. But when you
like
were
how I
recording
flirt
me,
with you is making fun of you.
we're
kind of
to each
bullying
other.
you,
Yes,
you know?
yes.
But
not when you were courting me.
When I was courting you, I can't with that word. So I don't know if I ever. Well, we also didn't meet, and I think if we'd met at a bar, we like planned a date during COVID via Zoom. It's just very different.
Right.
It would have been weird if like I was like DMing you to set up a date and I was like negging you.
And also you're ugly. Yeah.
So I think that, but if I'm like flirting with someone. Yeah, it's more just like teasing. But I think if there's ever someone that I'm like, oh, if I wasn't with Jordan, maybe I would like, I don't even know, have an example. That'd be crazy to give an example.
Yeah. My friend Marsha.
Call me, please.
Yes, I was with.
Yeah.
I would never do that to them. I would be very like, I'm not gonna.
Or someone who might get the wrong idea. Do you know what I mean? Like
someone
I think,
who's a moron.
Yes, exactly. That doesn't get it. I just think that like it has to be the right place and the right time and the right person. If that's your vibe, if you're a cheater, you can't do it. Sorry, you can't have fun flirting if you're a cheater. If you've cheated in the past, that's off the table for you. It's only if you're devastatingly loyal and infatuated with your partner.
Well, because we'll come home after a thing and we'll be like, that girl was so hot.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sure,
so hot.
right.
'Cause we're not thinking like, well, what does that mean for us?
You're stating a fact.
Yes.
I mean, how could you not state that?
Yeah.
It's like that painting was so beautiful.
Yes.
That movie was great.
Yes.
I think it's okay for everyone except for this person.
Because they're asking their
Yeah, they're looking for permission right now.
Sorry, Bridger's not going to give it to you.
I think flirting is a little incestuous in a way that's like brother-sister teasing.
Yes,
I'm like,
I
just
agree.
realizing this. I think
agree.
there's a little bit of that in flirting.
I see that.
And now I think I've ruined flirting for everyone.
Yeah, now none of us want to do it ever again. Next hot take. If you don't put your political views in your Hinge profile, it's an immediate no.
That's a bad take.
I agree.
I think that's a bad take.
That's a terrible take. No one should. If you put in a terrible political position, sure, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't have to lay it out. Like your general vibe should. And I hate the idea of like getting on and being like, I'm a Democrat. That's the dorkiest possible thing you
I'm
could
a
do.
leftist.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. It's like, I think so much of political views, too, is like you really have to put your money where your mouth is. And I think we see so many of these people that are like, I'm a Democrat. And it's like, okay, well, in 2025, that means so little, right? In so many ways. Like,
right. I mean, it's like I drink water.
Yes. And you could still have like really bad takes as a Democrat.
Terrible.
Well, also, you never know someone's circumstance. So it's kind of like, okay, well, maybe they're not, they could be more liberal or less liberal than they want their family to know, or I don't know. And like they're in a small town. Like I always have to remember that I live in LA.
Yeah.
And so when we give advice, I do try to be like, okay, but what if I was in a town in Ohio with 30 people? How would I want to act in this scenario? Because I think it feels so easy to just be like, I'm a leftist.
Right.
But I don't live in every society where that really is not okay. Also, I think if you're like, I don't know, if you're a white person, I'm like, you can handle whatever is. I guess I could understand more if it was like someone who was like, I don't know, if I was like black and going on a date and I was going on a date with a white person, I'd be kind of more like, okay, and what do your parents do for a living?
Yeah.
Right,
but I agree that you should be able to get that vibe.
Yeah.
And then if you go on a date with someone and they end up being like secretly alt-right, even though they did nothing to display that they might be alt-right, I think you, especially once again, as Kendahl said, as a white person, you have to just be like, okay, well, bye. And then
Sorry you got a story out of it.
Yeah,
Well,
and then you leave.
People act like a date is like them going into war. Like they'll be like, that person wasted my hour.
They're being very
like,
Mormon
What
about
are you going
it.
to do with the hour?
Exactly. You were going to do nothing.
We're going to
I
sit
know
around
you.
on the dating website.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Lisa.
I'm like, it's fine to go on a date and then be like, and they didn't tell me in advance, so I didn't know. So I'm like, your time is not that precious, honey.
Yeah. But then just ask. Like, if you're really, like, scared, I don't know, like, if you're really scared,
You're not ready to be married.
All I can think of is, like, if for me to be like, is someone homophobic? But I'm like, what? I'm going on a date with a gay person. That doesn't make sense at all or whatever.
It happens.
But if
And we hope.
I guess if you were like, like a non-binary, gender non-conforming person who was really androgynous, and you were like, hey, this is my deal with this. How do you feel about that? Or something, or like, this is how I feel about it, and I want to make sure you align with me. I think that's totally fine. Have that conversation before. But someone's profile saying whether or not they're a Democrat, a liberal, a leftist, a Republican, whatever.
But you know what?
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
She's always got something to say.
You're not gonna get kidnapped. Back on that, please. No, my friend recommended this book to me, and I have recommended it to everyone. I have not read it or looked at it, but I find what she said about it very interesting, which is that it was a book about sex, and it's a book about like why there is so much, I guess we would call it lesbian bed death, but across all relationships, a struggle to keep this sexual thing alive.
Right.
I guess there's been a problem for many, many years, but I do think something that is relevant to now is that we've taken out all the mystery of everything, and you're able to know so much about a person, and you feel owed to know all of this information about a person before you even go on a first date. So it really takes the mystery out of it. And even like with Jordan and I's relationship, when we started dating, it was during COVID. So it was like, I wouldn't necessarily say, I mean, it was very romantic and wonderful, but I don't know if our first couple weeks dating were like the sexiest.
Right.
Because it's a lot of like, well, who's in your pod?
So much logistics.
Yeah,
What
or it's just getting all that info on the
testing?
table.
Or,
right?
Yes, exactly. And so I think that type of thing in today's day and age, it's really hard to keep sexiness alive and keep sex lives going because people have so much information about their partner. And then I guess as they keep dating, there's just the mystery continues to lessen.
Right, and like this, like totally removing any chance at chemistry. And a dating profile should not be less romantic than a job application.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, like, you don't have to put that information on a job application.
Yeah.
And why are you telling me you do pills on your job? Your job
That's
application?
crazy to me too. When people put in their dating app that they do pills, that's like an option on Hinge. You've been
I
out of the
do
market for
pills.
quite some time.
That's tough to hear.
You can mark like if you do weed and there's a little weed leaf with a yes,
So
no, or
lame.
sometimes. Then there's a pill with a yes, no, or sometimes. I'm like, why are you telling people you do pills? Are you addicted to pills?
Yes.
Is it a
How
warning?
many pills do you have to be doing to put it? Because I've smoked weed, but I'm not putting I smoke weed in my profile.
Right,
Because I'm like,
right.
I don't know if that's a good representation of me. I do it ever
Mm-hmm.
so often. So if it's enough to put I do pills.
You're doing
do
pills.
pills?
I do pills in your bio. That's what you want to present to the world. And you're looking for, not only do you do pills, you want to find someone who's compatible and does equal amount of pills as
But then
you.
also, that's not specific enough. If like you have that specific, but then it's like, what type of pills?
Right,
Why
I'm
aren't we
on
going
Zoloft,
further?
You're on opiates.
Yeah, there should be
We're
a
not
drop-down
gonna-
menu.
Absolutely. I agree. And I'll tell you what, before long, there's going to be a needle emoji in there too.
Oh,
And
There
but
probably
yes or
already
no.
is.
I think it's going to be there.
But
let
now,
me
do
ask
want-
you if you've got the needle.
Yeah, let me ask you if you do heroin.
Yeah.
But it's also
Let's
all
get back
silly.
to old times
You're right.
where we could just ask.
Are you messaging me from an alley?
Yes.
This kind of thing.
But they'll put ethical heroin. I do
Ethical,
ethical heroin.
yes.
I'm like, oh,
It's
shut
fair
up.
trade. My partner knows about it.
Yes.
Because also there's no mystery, and even some of it, I'm like, it's so pointless because they also obviously have like, I do want kids, I don't want kids, which to me, for the most part, I'm like, that one makes sense to me. If you're looking for, I don't know, if you were on like eHarmony and you're like a mother who's looking for a really serious relationship, but why is a 21-year-old putting I don't want kids? I'm like, you have no idea. And not to say, but even if you say you do want kids, I'm like, you have no idea. You're 21 years old, you have no idea. You have pills in your bio. You do pills in your bio.
Yeah.
You're
I want
saying you
kids and I do pills.
It's just all like, what are we doing here? It
Yes.
takes the sexiness out of it.
Yeah, that's why I hide around our apartment for Kendahl to find me. Keeps the mystery alive.
Very fun.
She never knows where I am.
And I'm always just masturbating in the center of the house.
Hoping to
Where
find
could Jordan
me.
possibly be?
This person's hot take is your partner should take priority over your friends.
I think that's perfectly fine. I mean, maybe not like so much that your friends are like last place. I don't think about you at all the times,
Yeah.
but sure, the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, like if their tire's flat on the freeway and your friend's is flat on the freeway, you're going to go to your partner first, hopefully.
You need to help your friend. Your friends are in a.
Yeah, they've
you
got to
get
find
better cars.
Yeah,
They're in
they gotta get-
G-Wagon.
Yeah. I think that your partner can take priority, but only some. And I think you need to be careful about it because I think this is how a lot of people become alienated in their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it makes them sad. And I think it makes their relationships worse. I think one reason why Kendahl and I have such a good relationship. Why are you laughing?
Kendahl told me a few minutes ago you have a horrible
really bad relationship.
and it's getting worse.
When I cry for help, I just laugh anytime Jordan says something nice about our relationship. I say, "Oh, what a funny
Supercut of you
joke."
just laughing.
No, it's just so confident. It's just so funny to have a relationship podcast and then we keep just being like, we're so good at being a relationship.
Sorry, we are.
I like it. It just makes me laugh when you say we have such a perfect relationship.
Well, I do think we do.
I know.
But I think that one of the reasons why it is so perfect, as Kendahl laughed at earlier, I think it's because we both have really vibrant friendships that
Right.
take up a lot of space in our lives. And I think one that gives me perspective of how I should treat people and how people should treat me, because you have a larger sample size. I think it's easy to get like wrapped up with just one partner and then things can get like askew of how you should treat each other. I also think it helps you keep a personal life, and I think it helps you feel supported in a, it's great. Let's say you're going to jump off a building and underneath there's going to be like a thing to catch you.
Okay.
Do you want one person in the center to catch you, or do you want a bunch of people holding on to the big tarp?
Jordan, Kendahl catches you and dips you into a kiss.
That's all you need.
I think that's the answer.
All right. Well, what
Or
You should see no one.
Or do you have 50 people catching you and all trying to kiss you at once?
Oh, God, it's too much.
Too much. But even I say, even take friends out of it. It's like, I think if you, because there's a lot, I think it's still like, oh, if you have a bunch of friends, that's good. People are like, if you have a bunch of friends with a partner, that means you have a healthy relationship.
Kendall's getting defensive because she doesn't have as many friends as me.
I don't. Well, I'm much more of a lone wolf.
Deeply unpopular.
When I said you're my best friend earlier, I meant that.
She meant that.
No, I have close friends, but I definitely have a smaller circle of friends. But I also, I take a lot of time to myself. Like, I have a lot of hobbies that are individual hobbies. I read a lot. I go to the gym. whatever. And, to me, so for the introverts in listening, it doesn't have to be that when you're not with your partner, you're with a bunch of girls in Vegas.
No.
Whatever. But I think time away from your partner can give you perspective.
But you still have a lot of friends.
Well, I'm very charming and pretty.
I know. You have a lot of friends. So I think that's,
help
you
that,
don't have to be with your friends all the time, especially as you get older, that gets harder. People have kids, you got stuff going on. But I think it's good to have good, strong friendships. It will never do you wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think your partner should have an edge, but not dominate.
I agree.
Well, I think also they wouldn't often, unless you're a ship partner, they wouldn't have to ask that much. I feel like you are prioritized over my friends, but I don't ever have to even think about that because you've never asked me to do that. It's not
and neither have our friends. My friends are never like, you need to put me above Kendahl.
Can you imagine?
I actually can't imagine it. Unfortunately, I can picture it really clearly.
This person says it's not weird to meet someone's parents super early if they're very close to them.
I mean, I think that's even weirder. I think that whatever it was just described is extremely weird.
Made me very uncomfortable.
You're like, I can't even process it or repeat it back to you, but I hated every minute of it. Say what you think then.
Okay, first of all, people who get along with their parents are weird.
Sorry, your jealousy showing. I'm close to my parents. Sorry.
No, I'm close to my parents, but not in a friend way.
Okay.
But I think meeting your partner's parents real soon is a bad idea.
I agree.
I think you need to know your partner enough that when you see the parents, you can be like, okay, start making those connections rather than it becoming this muddy mess of I don't know who's affecting who. It should be a special thing that so the parents also feel like it's a special thing.
Because you're also, I'm assuming your parents are emotionally mature. I would just assume that these people's parents, because it just is more often than not. And I feel like so much with parents, you're just desperately trying to make them know they don't have as much power as they think they do.
Yes.
And I think when you, and Mom, this is not about you, I love you very much. I'm just saying, I've seen from the sample sizes of people's parents, it's like if you bring a person in early, the parents think they have more control. They're like, okay, I know this person similar to Lee. How do you know them? Because I met them near the same time. And my say is being taken into account. And it's like their say cannot be taken into account.
No.
Yeah. I think even if I'm very close with my parents are cool. We get along. Kendahl and I are very close with them. But I still think it's weird because my parents don't want to meet some random ass person. Do you know what I mean? My parents don't want me to come over to the house and be like, oh, I just met this person. They'd be like, okay.
Stop wasting our hour.
So it's a friend. Yeah. Right. But it's just it's weird. And your parents will behave weird. No matter how cool your parents are, your parents will behave weird. All parents have eccentricities and quirks and stuff. And it's does someone you just started dating need to see all your parents eccentricities
All
and
your
quirks.
parents is what they're going to say.
You
Jordan
see
has
all
60
your parents? Show them some of
a
your
lot.
parents.
Also, it's like, then are you also meeting the siblings? It's just like, it's too much.
Right.
It's too
too
much.
fast. When
No,
did you
but-
two meet each other's parents?
Well,
Day after the
months
first Zoom.
in.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
months in because you met my parents on my birthday.
birthday, which
and
would've been
we
about
started dating in
5 months,
October.
yeah.
Okay.
And my birthday's at the end of March.
Now we were long distance it was a little more. I think we might have met earlier, but
Because my parents live here in LA as well.
Right.
So I think that's also a big difference.
so right in that way we went faster. I think it's also crazy when I hear about people like they live a 10-hour flight from their parents. And they're introducing a person they met 2 months in. I'm thinking of it as like we live right next to Jordan's parents, so of course we met. But to fly someone to like Christmas, I'm like that's like a year and a half, 2 years.
you
No,
gotta
it's a
really
get out
get it.
situation.
But right, but also with you growing up Mormon, I feel like they all know each other.
you already know their parents.
Right.
Yeah,
So is
like
that
they
always-
live next door to you, so it's like,
Was there someone they were like, you will marry her?
no, thank God. There was none of that pressure. But yeah, I feel like Mormons are good at socializing. But I mean, you would marry someone within a half-mile radius, probably.
Sure.
Half mile to a mile. Someone at your high school. For sure.
Cousins, I've heard. They do second cousins, right?
Second cousins?
Third.
No Mormon I knew.
All right.
Although I've just heard about an ex-Mormon who's now in a relationship with his first cousin.
Be gay?
No, it's
Straight?
straight couple.
Isn't that illegal?
Not one of
Not in
them's
Utah,
British.
God, yes, you're right. Not if one of them is British. I
Wait, but
forgot
I
about that
guess
rule.
that's true because it's not under like American law. What
Oh,
are the
actually, no,
rules?
they're both British. What am I talking about? They're both British people who are dating.
They're
first
British and they're
cousins dating,
Mormon?
and they're ex-Mormon.
And you know them?
I know them through a friend.
Are they royalty?
No,
Is it
but I
Harry?
guess it is
Harry?
kind of a. I mean, I guess England's reinforcing these stereotypes. They are kind of. They love to get in there. And,
But it's illegal for them to have kids together.
certainly it must be, right?
Okay, I have a question, then we have time for one more question.
Okay,
Are
wonderful.
funeral potatoes as good as they look?
They can be.
Okay, what's the secret?
The secret is to cook the potatoes correctly so they're soft. I've had a lot that have an undercooked potato, and then it's like I'm now eating a kind of a slimy, hard potato.
Yeah.
They have to be cooked well. You have to use a good cheese, a sharp cheddar.
Okay.
Shredded yourself. You shred it.
You've got to shred it. Don't buy the bag. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Somebody recently said you should also use cream of chicken in addition to the sour cream.
Okay.
Is that what it is? And now I'm
Cream of
repeating
mushroom?
myself.
I think
Cream
you
of-
could use cream of mushroom or
probably
cream of chicken. I think either would be
right.
good.
And then you've got the cornflakes have to be put on right before being served, so they're not getting soggy.
Yeah.
And you can also put a little onion in there with the potatoes. You can get a little fancier, so it's not salt the potatoes.
Do you make a good one?
No, but I'm like, why am I
sounds
not
like you
making these
could.
things?
Yeah, I would love for us to get together and make some funeral potatoes. Sorry, I've heard that.
Fine, I'll do it.
No, thank you. You're Mormon again. We had a lot of people writing in saying hiking should never, under any circumstances, be a first date.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I think that you're not going to have a normal conversation. You're both going to be tired. One of you will definitely like hiking less than the other person. If you're in Los Angeles, it's going to be my least favorite place to hike in the world, Griffith Park, which is just dust and chain link
Hell
fence.
on earth.
I think there's just simply you should be sitting somewhere where you can have a neutral-ish place for a conversation.
But similar to what we're saying is nice about Mormon dating, I'm going to become Mormon after this.
Yeah.
Is like I feel like a need for people to be like, it's not really a date. Like they're trying to make it as little date-like as possible because they're like, it's nervous and awkward. It makes me nervous and it's awkward to sit across from someone and be like, do we like each other? I'm like, that's a date.
Grow up.
Truly,
up.
truly.
It is so ridiculous. I
agree.
mean, come on.
And I think that's what hike is giving. I'm like, you've just made it the least romantic. There's no tension. You're both sweating. You're both wearing ugly outfits.
Yeah.
That's not a date.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it doesn't feel like a date. And then they're like, I was getting friend vibes. I'm like, yeah, when Jordan and I hike, it's giving friend vibes.
It's giving enemy vibes, actually.
Yeah, well,
it's not
never
good.
happening.
Yeah.
There's
it's
nothing
really
romantic.
not good.
We don't get to the top of a mountain and are like,
Thank God we
I
did
wanna
this.
kiss.
No,
yeah.
you shouldn't go through something on your first date.
Yeah,
No.
I agree.
no.
I agree. Okay, we have a couple more. I just want to do rapid fire.
great.
You can say good or bad.
Okay.
Everyone should date long distance at some point because it tests your communication skills.
Bad. Yeah.
Dating is actually a ton of fun.
Good.
Good for you.
It's absolutely not worth it to live with someone. I cannot explain the sheer joy of living alone.
Oh, I love being alone, but bad take.
You should date your friends.
What?
Exclusively?
I don't know.
Date your friends. All of them?
That's just the pool.
Good or bad?
Bad.
Bring up topics like kids and career goals on the first date so you don't waste time.
Good.
You actually don't want to open your relationship. You should just break up.
Bad.
You're pro polygamy?
I'm pro. Do whatever you want to keep whatever feels great for the relationship.
Yes, I agree.
People who are like, just break up, give me a break. It's because it happens.
Jordan says that all the time.
Well,
to me, Jordan's been trying to break up with me.
Yeah,
for
I
years.
break up with her. No, I think that a lot of people should just break up because people will write into this podcast and they'll be like, my husband refuses to watch our children ever. He has no job and he has a boyfriend that I've never met. He takes all my money and he keeps crashing our car. How do I make our relationship work for the long term? And I'm like, divorce him.
Well,
like,
but also
sometimes it's just bad and it's not everything needs to be salvaged. And like staying in a bad relationship is not a point of pride. It's not a sign of power or strength.
Right. No,
it's like if something's really not working, and I am, once again, like I'm in it to win it with Kendahl. Like I will stick by her side through thick and thin. But at the same time, like if you're genuinely unhappy, especially if you're both genuinely unhappy, you've worked on it, it's just not happening. Like if you date for 30 to 60 years, it's like a lot changes. You might not be supposed to be with that person for that whole time.
Well, that's the thing. I think we have, like, you're always having problems. But I think if you're someone who, like, you guys don't have a ton of problems and you're really happy, and then something like opening a relationship comes up or moving somewhere, then I'm like, just figure it out.
Yeah, maybe think it through.
All right, Bridger, most people know where to find you, but tell them where they can find you just in case they don't.
I have the podcast I Said No Gifts. These two were on. It was fantastic. We have a Patreon now. I'm recapping Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Patreon.com/I Said No Gifts. I'm going to go to Utah next week and go to Swig and try to go to some of the locations. I'm so excited.
I love that for you.
And then online in general. Type my name into whatever search bar you want.
You'll find something
Go
you like.
crazy.
Yeah.
I love that.
Get nasty with it.
Oh my God,
I
I
love
love
that.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We
Thank you
always
for
have
having
such a
me.
good time hanging
Oh,
out
I
with
adore you too.
Yeah, you're wonderful. And as you know, this is a fully independently created and produced podcast by Kendahl and I with some help from the incredible people here at 7 Equus and Blake, our producer. And yeah, we pay for it all ourselves. So one thing that can help us, like, comment, subscribe, share.
And join our Patreon.
There's a lot of good stuff over there. And we hope to see you there.
Bye.